Next, a report on how 4 wildlife trusts in England and Wales have joined forces to help the landscape recover and make people and nature thrive. It's called the Wilder Marches and spans Shropshire, Herefordshire, Radnorshire and Montgomeryshire. Its aim is to build a network of estates, nature reserves, farms and forests to help nature recover whilst benefiting the local economy. Our Wales reporter Rhys saw how it's working in Powys.
Small fields, farm buildings, hedgerows and fencing. A typical sight in the Welsh and English countryside, but this beautiful spot in the Marches is not your typical farm. Here in Powys, the hedges and the sheep are giving way to a different form of land management.
It's really important as we go forward, adapting to climate change, that we have clean water.
The goal is nature recovery. Here at the River Lug, a tributary of the Wye, the ambition is the return of species such as the water vole, whose population has declined nearly 90% over the last 30 years.
Our vision really is just to work to restore nature and make space for nature. So we're aiming to do that, though, alongside farming with nature. So they're not two separate things. We want them to work together.
It's not just wild animals. There will be livestock on Pentwyn Farm too, just not very many.
Tamworth gilts they are. They're from a prize-winning herd in Pontypool.
The small number of pigs and cattle will help keep the soil healthy, not quite rewilding in its purest form, according to the Wildlife Trust, but instead allowing nature the opportunity to return to an area dominated by intensive farms. Rewilding as a concept, can be quite controversial among farmers, but that's not necessarily the way you see it.
It depends what you call rewilding. You can do it and production. I think you can rotation and different things, and the environment. I think there has to be a balance.
Pentwyn Farm is one of many such sites as part of the Wilder Marches project on the English and Welsh border. It stretches across 100,000 hectares and aims to restore ancient woodlands and fragile ecosystems. The trusts say changes in farming policy means the industry has to change too.
We know across the UK we're in a climate crisis and a biodiversity crisis. We are in a beautiful landscape around us, but we're not exempt from those changes. In the past 40 years, we've lost 70% of the UK's natural wildlife, and we need to make urgent changes.
But not everyone's on board. The National Farmers Union has called the government's environmental targets irrational, and in Wales, plans for an overhaul of farm subsidy payments are in crisis, with unions refusing to take part. In the Marches, reverting to a less intensive form of farming may be underway, but concerns over food security and survival means there's a long way to go to persuade everyone. Rhys, ITV News, the Welsh Marches.